Xiaohu playing perfectly after getting shut out of the game. He was an item and a half, 2 items behind for a majority of it, but found the perfect pick. That's why we were saying in the game, RNG are a team who's pretty much rely on Xiaohu to be that big playmaker. Now coming into draft, Top Esports once again on blue side, changing it up a little bit, not taking away the Xayah this time, banning out the Aphelios, which RNG taking with the Xayah, so Jinx, the highest priority AD carry left. I wonder if Gala would want to pull a page out of someone like V5's book, go towards something like the Misfortune, which we've seen have a ton of success. You have early lane pressure, and the bullet time able to do so much in those team fights, especially when RNG just won off of a huge wombo combo.
That's very true. I mean, the all-in success was great, and even seeing things like the early,
this is open.
I was going to say the Hecarim. I'm losing my words, but yeah, you're right. Lee Sin, wide open.
And I feel like for both teams, this one is such a big pick, especially for Top Esports. RNG actually haven't leaned on this pick very heavily this split, which has been a bit surprising considering the fact that it was Wei's go-to pick in Summer Split. But they take it away from TN. They make sure they'll be able to have some semblance of early pressure in this game and maybe play more with Xiaohu. But no, they don't go towards something like the Misfortune like we were highlighting, bringing out something new.
But you said early pressure. It still hits true with the laning phase with the Tristana.
100%. So all-ins, the explosivity that she brings to that 2v2, especially if you're able to get the level 2 first, look for the all-in. Top Esports will know to expect it. And now looking at where they go, the Volley Bear is the expected lock-in 100%. Just matching early game pressure with early game pressure. And then Top Esports, I wonder if you have the confidence to just go back towards something like the Rise. Instantly going to lock in the Hecarim, though. The only other thing that I'd say maybe you can look towards is, again, like an early pick away of a Leona or a Nautilus if you want to try and keep Ming off of these high-impact champions. Could just end up in a trade, but so far, 80 jungle matching 80 jungle.
But I just love that you brought up the thing like the Rise, right? Because in the last game, Knight was great on it in the first part, but we never saw it develop into the mid-game. Once it was over, it stayed over. We don't even look at the mid lane. We look at the support you were hovering. Tahm Kench instead here up against Triss.
Yeah, and this is something we actually haven't been seeing all too much of in playoffs. Only 5 games played so far. It is 1-4. But it is going to give Jackie Love some more peel, especially after last game where he was really feeling the heat that RNG were putting on him. It's going to feel quite nice. But RNG, the team to get their hands on the Rise, so having the jungler who can win out in those early game duels and skirmishes, having the mid laner who should be able to get a first move. Now for RNG, I wonder if you look to ban away some of the counters, because at least if you care about early agency, we know Knight does play things like the Syndra. If you're more concerned about the scaling that they are hovering towards, I mean, the Victor's there. The Orianna's still left on the board, but RNG not wanting to go over the Galio themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's curious, right? Matching here with the roaming. When I think about Xiaohu on the Rise, by the way, I think the fans will agree that this is one of Xiaohu's best champions over time, right? This is 2018 RNG feel when it was Uzi on the roster, when Xiaohu was all about moving and influencing the rest of the map. Kind of excited to see him on it here in the series after RNG's winners. We go through some of the other bans. Now, you already mentioned the Galio matching here, Xiaohu. I'm more curious about the Aurelia ban, considering that things like the Jace aren't picked yet, and we still don't have top laner for either side.
That's always where my mind goes when you see the Aurelia ban. Also, theoretically, the Gnar, that was always a good matchup into it, but we haven't really seen it played all that much in the LPL. Really just coming out as a counter pick specifically to the Jace. It's something that Bin has already played twice this split, and RNG also going to opt into taking away another bit of a scaler who provides a lot of zone control, especially when you do have some short-range champions so far. A champion like Tristana as well, if you rocket jump in, bam, Event Horizon put down, could really just prevent those all-ins that you are looking for. Still leaves open all the other options we already hit on. Again, scaling Orianna with the Hecarim is there. You want more early pressure, something like the Syndra also on the board, LeBlanc as well. And yeah, banning away some of the good matchups against the Jace.
Okay, well, a couple out of the way. For RNG, opportunity to pick it up here. Remember, they still don't have a support either, so Lyric, you could just wait and see what the full hand of Top Esports is before you lock it in.
Yeah, for RNG, I think that's the expected way to go, right? No reason to lock in here, especially if they have an expected answer, like if they wanted to go towards one of those tanky tops that we've seen consistently come out, and they go towards the Rel. I mean, fits with the all-in play style. I typically love to see Rel when you're playing up against very short-range compositions, because it sets up for a huge Magnet Storm to be able to come in and lock down multiple members. We're going to be seeing if Ming can find the engages. Top Esports, though, they put the 2 bans to be able to lock in the Jace. You would expect that one to come through, and then we're going to be looking at Knight for his answer into Xiaohu's Rise.
Okay, well, we'll see if something like the Syndra comes through. Remember, not banned away with the double mid lane ban. I'll count it triple from RNG. Knight also a great Orianna historically, but I think most of all, I just want to say that Knight is a great laner no matter what, so I'm hoping he pushes the envelope here against Xiaohu when, you know, so far, Knight has been really solid in this series, and Lyric, he called it before. Let's add a bit more range. Let's add the Knight speciality.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams would standardly go for the Orianna there. Again, will kind of win out in terms of the isolated 1v1, and you have the setup with the Hecarim. But this is Knight. Knight loves playing Syndra, has played 5 games on it so far this split. Will always have the memorable play in 2020 with the Scatter the Weak through the wall that's set up for their win up against JD Gaming. And now for RNG, your last pick to answer right now, just going to lock in the Kennen instantly. So setting up for the big 5v5, Rel and Kennen. You have tons of lockdown and tons of AoE damage to set it up. You have the Rise to move to sides to set up these lanes. I would expect it to be towards that bot side with how explosive it's going to be. And we're going to see if top esports are able to answer.
And strangely enough, I was going to ask you, top esports, we've got a bit of range here, but we also have some decent scaling, right? You and I often have this conversation offline that in the past people thought Jace was not really a scaler with the previous items. Now we've been in a new item set for quite a while. Jace does relatively well going into the late game too.
Of course. Eclipse, Serelda's Grudge, there's tons of things that make it so his damage doesn't really fall off a cliff. In late game, those Accelerated Shock Blasts, they hurt. They chunk you for 50, 60% of your HP.
Look at the comp we've got as well. I mean, who's the biggest frontline there? Maybe Lee Sin as a bruiser. Rel, we know, will tank up a little bit, but not the same as a hard
She can steal resistances.
She can indeed, though. So I'm curious about top esports. It feels like we have a composition that doesn't actually have to accelerate as fast as normally
it's really interesting, right? Because I think early in the game, they do also have skirmishing tools to be able to match. You have the Syndra, you have the Jace to go up for some of these. But, I mean, you have Hecarim, you have a late game scaling AD with the Jinx as well. And then if we get there, it's going to be all about the range advantage, which you just hit on. I mean, for RNG, if they're sitting right in front of TS, you're set up for a Scatter of the Weak, which instantly chains into Jinx auto attacks and the Accelerated Shock Blast that we just hit on. So I think TS definitely do have options. I expect RNG to be the team that can and should win out in the early game laning phase. And use that pressure from the Rise. And then for TS, we're going to see how they want to match these skirmishes with the Syndra, because Syndra also a champion who typically does want to brawl in those early stages.
I'm just excited that we get Knight on the Syndra, right? Xiaohu on the Rise. The mid lane matchup was what was hyped up today, and we get some specialities here from some of our veterans / pros in their league. Now, when I say pros, everyone's a pro in the league, but Knight goes above and beyond. The man's only been to Worlds once, but he has dominated the LPL in the standings of best mid for a while. He's been in the top 3 and currently sits right there. People got mad at me, Lyric, because I said Rookie was the best mid in the league. They said, no, it's Knight right now. And I guess it's a hot debate.
I mean, the great thing is, I think our 3 mid laners left in the tournament are the 3 best mid laners in the LPL. Knight, Xiaohu, and Rookie. I mean, whichever way you go with the debate, I honestly don't think it's egregious to name any one of the 3 of them. They really have been that standout. Rookie all split long, Xiaohu being the pillar for his team that they've needed to find any wins, and Knight's second half of the split especially stepping up and taking over.
And in the third game when we were 1-1, I like that you use the word pillar for Xiaohu, because this game on the Rise, it really feels like it's going to be the case. You talked about lanes leading to the bottom lane. When we have Gala on the Tristana, we have the Rel here for Ming, a lane that you wanted to see going, or get going, I should say, so that RNG can snowball this game.
Yeah, the only thing about it is top esports do have a decently defensive bottom lane, right? You do have the Tom Kench, he has the Guardian, Cleanse on your AD carry, so could be quite hard once we get to the post 6 points and he has that Devour available to try and get JackeyLove out of harm's way. But RNG should always be able to set up numbers advantage plays with the fact that you have the Lee Sin, you can look to bring him mid, you lock down the Syndra with an EW coming out from the Rise straight into the Sonic Wave, and then bam, she's dead, you move down to the bottom lane, or even look into the enemy jungle, right? Because you have Tristana, champion who is able to quite easily get pushed. You can just rotate your bottom lane to find picks onto TN himself.
Curious to see Gala and Ming going for a bit of a trade here in the bottom lane, and we always talk about 2v2 in the bottom lane because it is a rush to 2. It is a rush to get better trades here. There's so much action down here in the individuals. So we'll see how they go here. JackeyLove and Mark have a health bar advantage. But now pushing for 2, they have the wave management.
Yeah, so wave management and bot side, you expect it to be able to come through. The thing I want to highlight is junglers pathing towards the top side. Because even though we've been talking a lot about the bot lane, because of the all-in coming out from RNG, I mean, volatile top lane matchup as we see, right? Lots of aggression able to come through. Either jungler that can find a way to impact it first can really take over. I remember talking to one of my top laners back in like 2018 or something about top lane. They're like, whichever jungler comes top first wins. It's just that simple. It's that simple.
I mean, Wayward has been a focus. We talked about top esports, like how well he's been going to split, and it makes sense that, you know, there is going to be attention to the top side with how Bin has been performing too.
I also do want to clarify, it's obviously not that simple. The hyperbole was there, but you know the mindset. Top lane and island, that can be quite hard with how long the lane is, being an individual player. But you're right. I mean, just kind of the junglers and where they want to influence. Even mid lane, since Knight will have the pressure on the Syndra, you outrange. You can constantly look for those orbs, find the Scout of the Week. It feels like you have a bunch of volatile matchups that are just easily influenced. And obviously we'd hover towards RNG to have the advantage early since they do have the Lee Sin over the Hecarim. But Hecarim no slouch himself, especially with that Ghost, and he can find an E and a way into a lane behind someone like the Rise.
We're watching him right now on the minimap. You can see Tien just moving across mid lane. Good Scout of the Week here, but Knight simply trading as Tien spotted out. But look at the top side. Wei still sticking around with a very pushed out wave.
Yeah, he's going to be spotted right now, but Bin already running in. Hits the Q.
Yeah, a stun needs to come through. A flash available. Sonic wave to the left instead of down. The stun after the fact here for Bin. So Wayward now without a flash, a good punish if he returns.
And now it's a place you can look to come back to, especially if you can start moving Xiaohu at some point. Yeah, Ming gonna be able to get away, just jump over the wall. Does, stop Tien's back for a few seconds.
How many horses are there in the game of League of Legends? That's a really good question. Might be 2. You got something more important to say?
I was just going to say, Tien, Wei, I'm sorry, still waiting up in this top side. Wayward, who does get the ward down, doesn't get punished, and instantly thumbs up Teemo comes out.
You have to because you're Wayward and you emote the most. Now, please answer my question. No, never mind. We're going to rocket jump on top of Jacula, the 2v2 Gala. Feeling real funky here in game number 3 with First Blood.
And they find the moment to look for the all-in. Ming looking to set it up. Wave was coming into them, so they knew, the extent that they're pushing out this wave. They're able to find the kill. Now Gala and Ming can very easily push this out and find the reset of their own.
I mean, that's First Blood over to Gala, which means we are going to see a Tristana in the right place for RNG this game. Now, Ming's been slowed down. He has to crash down, but there's going to be a knock-up Abyssal Voyage. That's a bit of anti-synergy, but still Tien gets the kill. So there is a trade lyric, but it is the support going down for RNG.
Yeah, Ming walking, up, seeing Mark in the lane while Gala's pushing that one in. Could have just both backed off and gotten away. Does get punished, not expecting Tien to be there. And now both teams finding a kill. Even on different sides. Actually, I guess not on different sides of the map, just on different roles of the bottom lane. So more impactful, I'd say, that the fact you have that kill on Gala, already having the Noon Quiver and the Dagger. Jackie having a Noon Quiver zone, so it's not too bad. And again, you're getting closer to that level 6 point where Mark has to devour, and that 2v2 does become a bit harder to find.
And speaking of 6, we're getting to that point with Xiaohu as well. So we have to start accounting in the Realm Warp and see what happens with the bottom lane with Summoners all burnt. But Ming is bringing the bottom lane towards mid. Knight getting pressured out. Ming not in time, but still letting Xiaohu clean out so that he can start moving. And he's just hit 6 as well, Lyric. Great timing.
And so Ming roaming towards mid. Doesn't matter if you don't find a kill or burn any Summoners, right? You open up a window for Xiaohu to hover down, but Knight, with a nice ward, can spot out which side that Xiaohu is looking to lean towards and buy some safety for one of his laners to back off. Right now, TS being the ones to posture up towards topside. Wei, though, is here clearing out his Krugs.
They're fully aware. Again, the ward you pointed out from Knight, absolutely brilliant. Tien going behind enemy lines right now to clear out some of his own, but spots out that the camps are gone. So as we're hovering around, pacing around the top lane, both junglers have now been spotted way on that Tri-Brush ward too, as the wave is pushed out by top esports. So nothing going to happen here, Lyric, but again, both teams really looking to get the tempo moving.
Yeah, for TS, I mean, right, you had Prio in mid, you already Tien on that side, but leaning Knight up towards top doesn't do anything, because even if you push Xiaohu in, because he has the Realm Warp, he can actually get to the play faster than you. So I like the top esports don't over-aggress on that top side. It's actually RNG, the one looking to commit to make this top side play.
Way's on the edge of it as well. Wayward spots him out. Remember, level 6 doesn't mean too much to Jace, but for Wei, he takes a Blast Cone as well. Might not be favorable. Wayward waiting for his cooldowns here. As the Shock Blast singular doesn't work out, the acceleration gate for a bit of movement speed.
Look at Xiaohu as well.
I mean, he's turning around. Wayward knows he's getting collapsed on his 1 versus 3 slicing Maelstrom, and they make it easy.
Top esports going to answer, though, on the opposite side.
Okay, does it come into fruition, though, because it's slower than RNG's play?
Yeah, setting up right now. Tien taking blue buff. Maybe they can find Ming. Doesn't have flash.
But he has a Ferromancy crash down. Remember, there's a lot of distance to create, and he does it. Top esports with no trade except opening up the turret for turret plating, which I guess Lyric is still something.
Yeah, I mean, top esports finds something. On the minimap, it looked like Tien was going to head down and just look for the wraparound, but instead, opting to take away the blue does give the time to come out. Maybe got a little bit too hypey there, hoping for a dive to be able to come through, but
Cast the LPL.
2 plates, they deny a bit of a wave. We're going to go straight into the replay here. Way looking for this because, I mean, you see the cannon pushing up at top here. I don't know if this part was actually planned for Way, but here's where it gets really nice for RNG because Rise able to just move after he does neutralize the wave, uses the Realm Warp. Way just blocking off his path to be able to escape, and then RNG able to chain CC very nicely. Xiaohu just being there to cut off the escape path from the Jace.
So now after watching that, let me ask you, when you talk so heavily about RNG's bottom lane, does it matter that RNG sacrificed a little bit of time in the wave for Gala and Ming? Because Top Esports tried to make a response play. Jackulov was able to get a bit of turret plating. Jackulov does have a lead too.
I think for them, it's you know, fine that he's falling a little bit.
Maybe it doesn't
like,
matter.
no.
Maybe it doesn't matter because I've asked you the wrong time because Kick Flash
You
comes
did ask
through
me the wrong time.
Jackulov just goes down, but is there something in response? Tien comes flying through. Gala literally took an aeroplane all the way from Ireland to Scotland, and I've been on that trip. It was a quick one. Top Esports now know that RNG are in dead man's waters. Xiaohu has no Realm Warp. He has a flash and a heal. Can he help out? Way with the Sonic Wave, a safeguard, a flash over. Lyric, it's a little bit messy, but we do see a nice little response from TES.
Yeah, and I think Way trying to get to that side so they can't just cut off one of them and isolate maybe Xiao, look for the all-in there. Sadly, though, having to commit the flash to get over the Raptor wall. And they're going to go straight in. They have the dive here. Really nice kick to be able to come through. And we see Mark still not level 6 with Ming able to chain the CC down. They're able to find the kill. Sadly for them, Top Esports were already on their way to be able to at least answer with 1.
And I guess my timing of the question again wasn't great there because I wanted to know if sacrificing the bottom lane a little bit for RNG would matter, but right back down again. Way being very proactive here in the early game. 1-0-1 here on the Lee Sin, and he's made it work, giving Gala a bit more resources to bounce back.
I also feel like the key thing will still be the Rise, right? Because, I mean, mid and jungle can just set up for either side so well. Like, sure, there's only so much you can do as a Tristana or as a bot lane if Jackulov and Mark are playing respectfully, not giving you the room to move. So I do think it's fine if, you know, that trade side comes through, if they're able to find a bit of an advantage bot, as long as we can see Xiaohu and Wei finding ways to influence the matchup itself. But right now, Jackulov and Mark still hammering home. And once again, 4-man roam coming for the side of RNG.
Double down. Tien has the ulti once again. Knight the same too. RNG paying the respect, and it was off the back of the Rift Herald play. There's still a Dragon up here as well, so Top Esports looks like it still will be somewhat of a trade. But Wei now has the Herald, and look, Lyric, he's hightailing it right back to the bottom lane.
And we see Wei and Xiaohu just both splitting up. Xiaohu going to go answer his own wave, so not going to be able to find anything in response. And now Xiaohu, I mean, I guess you push out this wave, you can start leaning towards top, maybe look to find another kill onto Wayward. But Wayward playing pretty safe so far, not looking to go too far up in the wave and having some of his own vision down. But there is a bit of a window here for Xiaohu right now.
Okay, well, let's see. Xiaohu with the Realm Warp. You talked about it heading towards the top side. Not spotted out, but missing pings are going down. And you got to give some props to RNG. Great vision control in the Riverline when they're the ones running the Rise.
Yeah, and we saw Wayward's only ward did just get cleared out to spot out where he was. But look, Wayward still paying respect. Okay. Mark on his way up as well. Tien trying his best to get to the side of the map.
So the fish wants to get involved here. Sorry, catfish to be fair, or a frog, or a toad, or a tadpole. Whatever people call Tom Kench these days. Mark is level 6 with the Devour.
These days? What do they call Tom Kench back in your day?
There's Unclog the Frog, there's Unload the Toad, there's Uninhibit the Ribbit, Unclog the Frog,
all of those are
the Kench.
All of those are frog references.
They are, but I guess they're different stages of life, right? Like a tadpole of baby
That's
frog.
true. That's true.
What else? Ribbit is obviously the sound a frog makes.
I think you're right with catfish, though. So
I think he's a catfish.
Yeah.
He comes from Louisiana, doesn't he?
Comes from Bayou.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Australian.
Great place.
All I have is Uluru, but you have a lot going on down there.
Yeah, we do. Mardi Gras.
Yeah. I was gonna say swamp Louisiana, but you know that's something too. Anyway, hey, we'll bring you back to the game because as we go down this path in playoffs, sometimes we don't get out of it. Lyric has to draw me out physically. We've got a 20 CS lead in the mid lane. And I need to mention it because Knight is on Syndra. And when Knight has a lead on Syndra, it gets very scary. And a lot of the fans will know that from personal experience. And I think it's worth mentioning considering that we do have the mid game coming up, Lyric, and Gold is even, but there are some strong individual members. I'd say on both sides.
Yeah, Top Esports, though, trying to be the ones, and they find Ming. He does a flash.
Yeah, he's on a horse. He's going to crash down once again. You mentioned the flash. He tried to repel, but he's devoured up. Mark, it tastes like plate mail. As Ming goes down, the response on the top side is to get the first turret blood. for RNG. So it wasn't in vain here, Lyric. RNG even looking for a second push.
Yeah, RNG, with the fact that they have the Herald, are going to be able to get a ton off of this play. Huge gold injection into their side. Wayward trying to make his way over, but 3 members here, he can't walk up.
No way. So 2 turrets for the price of Ming. Very well worth it here. Jackie trying to trade himself with turret plating still available, and at least he will be able to do so.
Look at Tien, though. Tien hovering, waiting in the wings.
Dive. Oh, Scatter the Weak connects, but he's already out with the rocket jump. Nicely done here from Gala to buffer. Jackie going to get the turret, as mentioned before. So a lot of gold injection cross-map.
Yeah, and we've seen... Ooh, Knight's getting chased down.
Good Scatter the Weak once again. Mark coming nearby. Remember, he used the Devour before. Thumbs in the air, and he just don't care about that Sonic Wave.
So I feel like the key thing we've seen so far is since it's been an isolated mid matchup with Way not being able to get involved,
Yep.
Knight's Prio is opening up for Top Esports to make the plays around the bot lane and force for RNG to have to cross map. If Way could have found more activity in that mid lane, or like when Ming roamed up earlier on, that's what could set up for you to be the team to be able to play around the side of the map of your choice. But with the isolated 1v1, Syndra coming out ahead, 18 CS lead so far, and I think Top Esports pretty happy with, despite the fact that they're at a disadvantage because of the Herald play that we just saw.
That's true. I mean, a big open top side now as well. I wanted to ask you a little bit about how RNG play around that, because we still have turret plating up for another 15 seconds. Xiaohu we can see here pushing with the help of Wei, who is setting up for a dragon in a minute 30, getting a bit more deep vision. And I wanted to come back to that question of how RNG abused their lead, at least their open mapness, if that is a word, a little bit longer. Hello, way under turret. That's ambitious to say the least, but he just wants to bully him out and give Xiaohu a bit of space.
Yeah, so he's going to end up missing out on the whole wave, doesn't end up being able to get Krugs either.
True.
And if you look at his inventory, hasn't even been able to pick up the Eclipse yet. Because for RNG, they've at least been able to set him so far behind. Kind of feels like a 4v5 for the side of TS at this point. Sure, Gala has been getting abused, but look at the items. Gala at least has his Kraken Slayer to match Jackie Love on the opposite side. In fact, that's where a lot of RNG's gold difference is, right? 2K, almost 2K gold difference, maybe a bit more even now with that turret going down. All of it being up in that top side. So it's going to be about team fights for Bin, right? Okay. That's going to be the difference between the Jace and the Ken and Jace. If he was even could try and bully out in that 1v1 or look for sides, but Bin looking for that huge AoE ultimate on top of Knight and Jackie Love.
But are we going to be fighting around the next objective? 35 seconds for the Dragon, and that question coming full circle, Lyric. We do have full mythics coming through, and for RNG, still at a strong point.
Yeah, and I feel like a huge thing here is look at the vision in the bottom side jungle for RNG. They have these wards behind it. Top Esports need to clear them out. It looks like they're doing that now because, sure, Bin is big and has the advantage, but as Kennen, it's quite hard to just run forward at the composition that TS has, especially with Knight. If you're just going to run into an easily set up Scout of the Week, can just dissuade any damage that comes out from him. So has the flash, could make it a bit easier if they can't find any kind of flank to be able to come from a side, but still, you're kind of leaving your fate in Knight's hands if he can set up something amazing.
Yeah, I mean, again, Knight on Syndra, you don't doubt it. At least now we're not going to get a fight, though, in front of the Dragon. RNG taking it free-handedly, and Top Esports running through mid, trying to open up. This turret has a bit of a slither, but there's a Realm Warp on the backside. We begin, but Xiaohu interrupted here. Realm Warp means nothing. Bin jumps on the one member. It's Tien who's without the rest of his team. Top Esports now with a numbers disadvantage, and Tien was just off the beaten path somewhere else.
I was going to say, I don't even know like where Tien came from or why he was there, just getting caught off and giving a free kill to RNG.
Poke,
the poke coming out, that's the range advantage that we were hitting on. If they can keep RNG at arm's length, I mean, they will be able to swittle them down and take these fights.
But at the very least, they find Tien here, RNG do. And you got the Dragon as well, so a successful move here. So we're going to look again. What was this horse doing?
He just runs in. I don't know if he expected other members to follow through with the Realm Warp, but having the wraparound. Also, I mean, Control Ward was cutting off some of the vision that they had. Maybe not expecting other members to be there, but it's just like a mistake coming out from Tien.
Important tangent. Kled, does it count as a horse or not? Oh, I said the two horses in League of Legends. Okay, Skarl is some kind of other beast. We'll continue on with the game. If there's any other pressing questions, I'll let you know. Hey, after that kill, Wei now on 2, by the way. This is a big Lee Sin, who's coming to bully down Wayward. Bin ulting immediately. Wayward with a great flash. There's the defensive teleport as well. Tien is getting revenge, wants to roll on in. This is the main horse attraction now, as the Death Rocket as well helps out. A shutdown over to Knight Syndra. Oh no, Knight got the kill, and now they want a little bit more. They're chasing after Bin. How far can he go? Tien runs him down. They want to give it to Knight. Scout of the Week was close, but Tien secures And Top Esports are with a big punish in the bottom lane.
Great to see them punish the overextend. Also not in a position for RNG to try to punish elsewhere, right? Their bot lane not overextended. Maybe give an angle for Xiaohu to make a play or anything like that. Their bot lane's playing under turret. They now push out, get this. They're able to pressure down on that bot side as well. And I feel like the key thing here for Wayward is the fact that the wave's coming. So he jumps in with the To The Skies, able to flash out. Minion wave right next to him as well. The Sonic wave doesn't hit. Buys time for the Cavalry to show up. And then Knight, amazing scout of the week to get that first one. Like you said, looks like they were hoping to give it over to him with this one as well. But Tien's going to secure it down. Top Esports, just great punish.
It's a big one as well, right? We saw at the start of the play, Knight got the shutdown. 2-0 now with a bounty. And we're looking at Way on the screen. Now we're looking at we have TikTok. That's cool. Well, I'll tell you about the items in a little second. Gala dodging away from the scat of the week. Go and visit the TikTok. Maybe I'll do a dance on there and do something trendy with all the Zoomers. But for now, I'll tell you what I want to talk about. And Lyric, I want to talk a little bit about Top Esports and what we mentioned in draft. The range was brought up. Things as well, like how this comp can play as the game goes on. Top Esports in a decent enough position, and Gold's just about even after RNG moments ago had a 2K gold lead and looked pretty in control themselves.
Yeah, for TES, I mean, it's huge. The way they want to approach objectives, right? Group up mid, you win the contest over midway because of the poke and range you have. 4RNG play through sides.
We just don't get a moment to talk, do we? Everfrost usage great again. Bin with the slicing maelstrom. Wayward getting bullied. Welcome to town. Again, high school's a rough time.
And this is the play that we were talking about in the last game with the Realm Warp, right? Just committing both of your soul laners down to that one side to find the pick. Then being able to answer elsewhere. This time around, it's not that because you were just cross-mapping, but still just showing the potency of this. And even highlighting the point of, for TS, again, a lot of it, in my opinion, is grouping up towards mid to take your pressure. Because Syndra, not a champion who really feels safe sitting inside, so you would need people like Mark and Tien hovering with you to safely do that. For RNG, Ryze completely fine in the side lane, Bin much safer than the Syndra on the opposing side. You could both walk forward, you could both constantly look for those plays, find pressure through there to be able to take fights.
Alright, well, we're going to get to another one at least soon, though. A minute 10 till Dragon. There's a Herald in the back pocket of Tien as well. Lyric, we're getting towards 20 minutes, and let's talk a little bit more about RNG, because with the Ryze, with the Cannon, with the teamfight prowess we already mentioned, it feels like Xiaohu is really trying to abuse more of the side lane, you know, picks that you were just talking about, and more about how RNG can get to the map first.
Yeah, and for them now, they're going to keep doing that with him pushing out that top side now, try and get some of your vision line down.
Oh.
They need to be careful.
Okay. I always on the edge. When I see Knight get a scat of the week, a big one as well, especially with Mark. Jack, you love. Bit of movement speed to add on there as well. Top Esports clear out the mid wave. Now it looks like they're going bot towards a Cloud Dragon. Yeah,
so they have control of bot. These are the windows they need to be careful for, so it's good that they're playing around their bottom side, because this is where Xiaohu push out the wave, could have moved down, could have collapsed on mid, you have numbers advantage, but with them hovering down, he's just going to commit to this top side, but Wayward luckily is here to answer.
Yeah, still has a decent amount of wave clear as well. Knight close to the chest in the mid lane too, so he can always move over as Xiaohu backs away, Way doing the same thing as well. There's a couple of pings on Baron. There's no wards on Baron as well, so RNG heading in that direction, but still no one nearby to take it away. Dragon's coming up, and this is the third one, but Top Esports are here, and it's clear that RNG have no intent of fighting this yet.
No, you even look at Xiao, who's still pushing aggressively up in that top side, kind of defaulting to the gold trade, just picking up camps for now, keeping their vision going forward. I would expect them to want to look for that top side scuttle in a second, just cement your vision control even further, and yeah, just look to go into the mid-game strong and set up for that big AoE damage. The big AoE setup come out from the Rel plus the Cannon.
It's such an interesting game because we're heading towards the grand final, right? The winner of this goes to the grand final. We're in the upper bracket. Top Esports or RNG, one of these teams are going to that final stepping point before another domestic championship. And it's such an interesting game of, I guess, intelligent players coming through Top Esports. Okay, now we're going to all commit, but double Everfrost, a scat of the week in response. Bin takes so much damage. That's what Knight's putting out at the moment. RNG now responding as well, Lyric. They don't want to lose it in the turret.
Of course, RNG able to get those resets off because of how early they made them. Of course, Top Esports playing for that Drake in the bottom side. Kind of took them more time to get the setup to push in that bottom lane. And I mean, in circumstances like this, their comp does pretty well since they do have the long-range poke and siege able to go off. But the longer you sit here, the more you set up for the potential engage to come up from RNG. That's why Bin was starting to hover towards this bottom side. But look at Top Esports, having Wayward push in mid to pull Bin away from the play and have to answer this wave.
Very coordinated, just pulling back as well. Wayward not overstaying his mark, and RNG do manage to successfully defend, but there's still poke damage that goes onto the turret as well. So, Lyric, I guess we're playing a little bit slower this time around. 5 kills each, making 10 in total. I love how I say this. It's the slow game. I know we have a lot of LCK, LEC, LCS fans who are waiting to get towards MSI. For the LPL, this is slow for us.
I mean, oh wait, it's so
Oh.
a kill just almost happened out of nowhere.
All right,
you
well,
looked away for 1 second.
I was saying it was slow. That's my problem, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, jigs do exist.
Hey, yesterday, I'm not sure if every game did, but I'm pretty sure 3 out of the 4 games had more than a kill per minute.
Oh yeah,
So
by
yeah,
far.
yesterday was absolutely insane in terms of rate of play. This one again, both teams I think a bit more collected.
Ooh,
Is
they get
Mark.
the zap on. They get the zap away. There's a flash tongue lash from Mark. How aggressive is that with the Sonic Wave as well? Knight wants to scatter the weak through the wall. Way has to flash. Man, Top Esports pulled the trigger, and just like that, they're fully committed.
Yeah, Wei must not have had the safeguard available to be able to get on top of Bin. Having to get away, nice summoner blown for them. The TES playing this one slow, considering they do have that siege, considering they have the Jinx, the Jace, who are going to be able to put up this huge damage. Rift Herald going down now should be able to cement themselves in mid-turret.
Jackie Love helping push that one as well. Down it goes. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, hello. Xiaohu dealing with 2 members, and Wei would finally getting revenge. Tien helping out. That feels nice for Top Esports.
Top Esports being cheeky with that one.
Yeah.
We saw Xiaohu, I guess, feeling confident because so many key Top Esports members are showing in mid,
Oh.
not expecting the pick to come through.
Okay.
And Knight says no, takes away the blue buff, and Bin and RNG just going to have to walk away feeling pretty depressed.
I love how Mark's being so aggressive this game. But we're going to look at the bottom lane. What happened here in the 1v2?
Oh.
Xiaohu called backing.
Yeah, it was such sad timing, right? Going for the back, not expecting them to be able to make it down here this quickly. Nice read by TS to expect him to still be in that brush and be able to find the pick. So they not only guarantee themselves a mid-turret with a Rift Herald, guaranteeing themselves a kill off that, they don't lose the blue buff, covering themselves and winning on all sides of the map in that play.
Gold is still even. They've got 2 Dragon Zone for Top Esports again. This game was in RNG's favor by 3,000 gold. It looked pretty nice to how the game started out, but for Top Esports, these really aggressive plays, bringing it back here.
Xiao.
Realm War, speak of the devil, Tien once again caught out here. Ult has to be used, but look, on the wrong side is Wayward teleporting away, just out of vision. The emote comes down as well. You gotta respect Wayward's usage.
It's great, but I just want to say, I feel like the gold is a good representation of the game state because, I mean, RNG, despite the fact that they lost like the last rotation of map play, still do have great ways to play out this game. We've seen Xiaohu consistently being an annoyance in that side lane, and we still having those huge AoE tools available that we've been talking about, the Slicing Maelstrom coming out, the Magnet Storm as well. If they can find access onto the immobile Jinx and Syndra, they will just be dead.
It feels like both mid laners are having their own impact this game, right? Knight in a very aggressive way. Thank you for the red buff, sir. He's going to give it over to Jackie Love as well, which feels really good here. As Top Esports go in a little bit deep, take some resources, back away. No one really being egregious at this point, Lyric. It feels like paying a bit of respect, looking for the picks, but outside of that, not really hard forcing when it looks more like a 50-50.
No, especially with the fact that Dragon's coming up in about 40 seconds.
Good
Top
timing.
Esports is going to opt in for some recalls, maybe buy some more items. We see LDR now finished on Jackie Love to be able to take down some of this front line. Rabadon's death cap has been done for a little bit for Knight, and especially with how squishy, you know, some of the key members on RNG are. It was like a decent pickup as Xiaohu actually getting decently tanky. And once again, RNG just loving these stopwatches, really finding the value in this item, and just being able to survive one more rotation of spells, come back, reposition, win out through a fight.
Especially for Ming, right, to be aggressive here on the Rel. The Magnet Storm is up but available, and waiting for those kinematics to keep Top Esports at bay. One fun mechanic in League of Legends that Rel only has. For Top Esports, grouping up towards mid now. Dragon up in 1, now live. And RNG can do this uncontested, just like the last Dragon for Top Esports. It is the first, 2 apiece, nothing happens. We're going to be waiting a little bit longer, or are we? Xiaohu taking it to half HP, the Shock Blast as well, poking them down. How egregious is this? I just said nothing was egregious. Realm Walk going to be taken, Zap, dodged away from, and out Xiaohu goes, but actually he got hit with the Zap. He's lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and Wei still in here, Wayward!
Flashes over the wall. Hello, Wayward. With the Sonic Wave connecting, though, now we got a question Top Esports go forward, but of course, it's Tien. He runs forward, and Tracker Repel stops him. Pin with the zone, though, but he's left out to dry. It looked like a great ulti if RNG were there.
And we just saw the scatter of the week. This is why just running head first as Kennen into a Syndra can be so rough. Pings coming out for the Baron.
Oh, yeah.
Top Esports are going to look for this.
All right, 5 members. Look how healthy they are as well, Lyric. Xiaohu doesn't have the Realm Warp. Wei is coming in with Smite on a cooldown as well. How do you steal this?
Oh, it's going to be rough. I mean, Wei can try and find his way in. Like you said, no Smite available. Just going to do their best, maybe find Burst, find some kind of team fight to win. Since Top Esports are taking the Baron, taking the damage. But Tien, they don't even care about the Baron. They're looking for the fight.
Xiaohu's already flashed away. Look at Tien, the angle as well. The onslaught of shadows into the fake horse. Yeah! We're going straight on in as Top Esports take a bit of damage on the return, but Ming is out there. You can always spot a fake.
Yeah, RNG. I mean, they're still able to get away, though. That is the key thing for them. No Baron play for the side of TES. No more Australians going yeehaw. Yeah. And now RNG will have tempo on the map, as we're going to get to see the replay of what happens in the last fight. As, again, I do believe Bin got hit by the Scatter of the Week. Goes in, yep, gets knocked back, so not able to find a ton of value. Was able to get a bit of damage out and force some members back, but Knight, the crucial spell.
Well, Lyric has come back, and as we see so many skirmishes, that's right, a breath out. I have to, because after the past couple of days, I honestly think our gameplay's been so much fun, right? A lot of criticism yesterday, and I'm sure people will have their criticisms today as well. But we've had a lot of risk-taking, which I always love. Like this, that's a risk to me.
And look at where Bin's position, waiting off in the wings, has a control ward. If Top Esports overcommit, he's trying to set up for a huge slicing Maelstrom.
TM without an ult. Scout of the Week is a little bit short, and just as they say we need to take a breath, we can actually take a breath.
Let's also remember that for TS, they don't really have to overcommit to get a lot of their damage down. So RNG will be on the Baron, they'll be taking Baron damage, and then you just have, bam, Accelerated Shock Blast fly out. You have a Rapid Fire Cannon Jinx able to get some of those autos off and get some damage down. So RNG, committing for the play, hoping that Top Esports overcommit. Top Esports don't. RNG are just forced back. And once again, kind of in a state of ping-ponging waves right now as Wayward pushing that one in. Someone's going to have to answer bot wave on the side of RNG. And we're going to see if RNG maybe look for a bit of a cheeky pick themselves, look for a bit of a cheeky play, because they are the ones who've been trying to utilize those tools, right? The Realm Warps, the Vision to get Kennen in to our Top Esports. It feels like they have been punishing more for the past, let's say, like 10 minutes, and taking advantage of windows where RNG are showing on waves overextended and really just taking advantage of those moments.
But again, the right way to explain this game, it feels like when we're one apiece here in the series in the upper bracket final, no one's really like hard committing. We're not getting crazy play, right?
We're always looking for a crazy play.
Well, as I say that again, I've already cast and cursed it enough. Maybe one more is the perfect amount. At the very least, when all's on the line to move to match point in the upper bracket final, it's tense to say the least. Whether I'm correct or not, it is true to say that both teams are not overstepping their mark right now. Hovering around the Baron, Dragon's not up in a minute 30. It is only a Cloud Soul, and it is Soul Point for teams. So we start the Baron again, and we look to lure.
And the fact that Top Esports doing this on Vision means that they want to force a fight. They want action. They still have TN waiting in the wings, trying to find a good angle onto Gala and Xiaohu instead of the damage. Knight stacking up his orbs now.
Wei has Flash, Ghost available for TN. Jungler spells worth mentioning here as the poke starts coming through, but Top Esports, as you said, are not committing to the melee range.
And I feel like critically, the Scout of the Week didn't land there for Knight, so not able to find the CC lockdown to commit an all-in 4. You're going to have to back off and get the honey fruits. And Bin, I like that Bin hasn't gotten scared and RNG haven't gotten scared and had him pull the trigger too early on the TP, because that would have been a win for the side of TS as well. Just get Bin's TP, back off from the play. Now he can't pressure you out inside. So RNG were very calm, very patient in that play.
But 30 seconds, we'll see, because Bin now on the bottom side. Dragon is spawning. Top Esports have priority in the mid lane here, Lyric, and I know you like talking about sides. I'll quickly mention top side pushing. Bottom is pushing for RNG, so an even bit of map state here, as we've got 20 seconds until that neutral spawn.
And it's always pretty nice, especially for RNG's comp. You can try and find to bring away, well, way to bring Kennen, I'm sorry. The damage coming out from TES, RNG having to be scared and backing out. This is the setup where we talked about their composition thriving. You're the ones who want to force in mid. RNG are the ones who need to try to find your avenue. If you have this push in bot side river, trying to make your way around, maybe through tri-brush, clear out the ward, wait in the bot lane, brush in river, but they don't feel comfortable going for that. Instead, just trying to pull TES up to Baron.
Just getting close. A moment ago, we saw Gala tag a little bit, but a rocket jump over the wall. Now, Dragon's going to be done here. RNG moving towards Baron. Death Rocket spots him out, though. Baron has not even started here, so RNG aren't able to sneak it away. Now on Soul Point for TES. And the game still with an even gold lead after 31 minutes. Again, we're in for a slow barn burner here, but to be fair, barns, if they're made out of anything but wood, will burn slow.
That's true.
That
is actually just factually correct.
There you
Steel
go.
barns, you know, maybe they don't burn at all. As, like you're saying, scaling, Top Esports completely happy with it. You know, we remember the Jinx nerfs coming through, but a lot of those were just early game nerfs to things like mana. Her late game, completely the same in terms of the damage numbers you're still able to put out. So Jackie Love still going strong, and now the key carries of Top Esports also having those stopwatches as well for the past few minutes. So they're feeling decently comfortable. The fact that they're also stacking up Cloud Drakes and they have a Hecarim feels pretty good for their side. So keeping it nice. So gold still even. RNG still not out of it. But they've been trying desperately to set up a way to find plays, or at least just pulling them to sides, right? We've seen them consistently going for these deep pushes in top and bot, trying to pull a member there and see if you can find something. But top esports never over-aggressing and always walking as a unit.
And as well, you mentioning stopwatch, I just want to point out, top esports with their own. Jackie Love having one there. You can see Knight the same here, 6 stacks on the Darksteel on top of that too. We're getting towards 3-item territory for this Syndra. 3 items for Wayward, who was behind this game. Let's just pull out that Wayward was bullied. And we've seen a lot of bullying in the LPL. Okay, Baron's going to be started when Tien was backing right in front of it. Wei regrets that, backs away himself, and Tien resumes the back. So,
I mean, Wei doesn't regret it. He got a free control ward and gets to get out of there.
All right.
Wei's happy as could be.
Wei regrets that he didn't regret
And if we had an audience, they'd be happy as could be as well,
That's
cheering
true.
that award went down.
Well, we do. We have a Twitch audience. I don't know if they're cheering right now. They're saying, we want that final fight. We want the moment. RNG top esports fans would be sweating alike. Again, you get another chance in the lower bracket, but as you said earlier, no one really wants to face V5 because they are unpredictable. They are scary. Even though top esports reverse swept them, still, to get here was hard. And even RNG against JDG, the same can be said. They want a smooth berth into the grand final, and wouldn't it be great to see either of these teams move back into the grand final after, you know, quite a while of seeing them there. RNG more recently, but top esports.
I mean, RNG just last year, right, again. I mean, Xiao, known as the Tiger King of Spring for a reason. Feels like this is his domain. This is his chance to get back there. RNG's chance to get back to MSI and defend that title as well. Top esports, only 1 LPL championship.
Yep.
Didn't win in spring 2020. 2020 was their year, but fell to JDG in Game 5. Then went on to win MSC, which is pretty confusing. But if that's the equivalent of MSI in 2020,
do they have a title?
You know what I mean?
They have an international title. It's like when you win group rivals.
So in UFC, you have interim belts, which is, you know, like not the actual belt, right? You beat a guy because the champion's like out, maybe injured or something.
Right.
So maybe we count MSC as an interim belt.
They have an interim belt.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they need the true belt.
And to be fair, they also had the unofficial world title for quite a while. Now, if you don't know what that is the title belt if you beat the champion through Worlds, starting from Fnatic Season 1 as well. It's landed in the LPL for quite a while. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, unofficial world champion, go and look at that up in LoL Fandom. You'll see what I'm talking about. But for top esports, right now, they're looking for their own title. They're looking for another chance to hit into a finals. This is what the series is all about, and we're talking about this in the lull moment because it is quite tense. Top esports now in front of the Baron. RNG are grouping back out as well, but as this war gets cleared, it begins again.
Yeah, they're just going for it, right? Both teams have been happy to handshake so far. We're going to be looking at Bin. We're going to be looking at Ming to find a way. Going to look for the steal. It's all on Wei.
I mean, Wei's in. He goes for the kick. The spike comes down. An easy steal, top esports. Why did you 50-50? Tien's out with the back of the pit. It's a devour coming through from Mark as well, but Xiao is running them down. The Tiger King continues his onslaught. Scout of the week not connecting, and Tien in no man's land. Why did this game come down to a massive burger flip? Cadril, stop feeding our players McDonald's. RNG getting tagged over the Gala rocket, but it still might not be enough. RNG still at the health bar gully, running through the Tristana, getting resets. RNG given to them on a beautiful silver platter.
I'm just still at a loss for words that top esports weren't just trying to angle for the pick, trying to angle for the fight itself. You know Wei's going to have to come in. You even had some word spotting that all the key members who I was listing off weren't there. The Kennen, the Ming, the Rel, not there. You could just look to try and turn on something like the Lee Sin, look for the pick, but no! This game might just be over!
I mean, RNG are going to move to match point from what was such a tense back and forth. Top esports were sick of waiting, and RNG pulled out their pocket watch and said it's time. Match point. RNG going forward with a massive grin on their face. What the hell?
I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how the game ends like that. What was that? Top esports, both teams kind of handshaking, chilling, waiting, giving the scaling over. No. Top esports having a lot of these ranged tools, and we're speculating, right? Okay, RNG, how do they win? It has to come from this AoE. We keep highlighting the Kennen. We keep highlighting the Rel. But Lee Sin gets in the pit. I think Scatter the Week did land, but still able to get the smite off. And my God, that is just LPL. I don't have words. You talk.
How many? It's like we're watching FPX all over again, man. I mean, the amount of times in the regular season we have seen Baron flips. This split especially, Lyric. And against the Lee Sin, I mean, Sonic Resonating Strike. It's an execute. So
I think he just smited it.
he did.
Yeah.
He was stunned up. He was
Yeah,
stunned. And he
yeah.
pressed smite.
It was.
So
And I'm pretty sure it was the only one in. I don't think Mingen made it in the pit,
Yep.
into the pit yet, but who knows? We need to replay. The
Dude.
AD will break all that
But
stuff
you know,
down.
you know what breaks my heart about
What?
that game is it was so back and forth. It looked very calculated. It looked very
Both
concrete.
teams were like so like we're not gonna make a mistake. We're not gonna
And the
make a
top
mistake.
esports, I mean, on a ward was Way. Way was on a ward in the back of in the back behind the Baron,
Yeah.
but they knew he was there, and they're like, "We're going to try and flip it."
I don't know.
That's championship material right
I don't
there.
know. Well, Top Esports on the verge of being knocked down to the lower bracket to face V5 again, who they
Yeah.
have beaten before. They have beaten V5. Let's keep that in mind. But that was a 5-game series. You don't want to gamble, flip a coin once again on being able to take it. You have the prep there, but man, RNG, 2 games in a row. I mean, game 2, last game, they were 5K gold behind this game,
Why?
taking Baron.
Why is the first game such a curse? In
I don't
the
know.
past 4 series, winning the first game in our double elimination bracket means you lose the series. Top Esports won convincingly in the first game. And again, we're getting the same curse. A match point for RNG. And look, we can look at the positives there. It was never a point where RNG were really out of that game. It was always so close. It was always neck and neck. Even after the picks, Xiaohu was bringing his own attention down to Wayward. Excuse me. And
They were pulling them off the sides.
That's
They were
right.
always answering
just
somewhere
a concrete
else.
play. And,
They still always had tools, which is why, like, TS never over-aggressed either, right? Because they had to be afraid of the tools that RNG had. The fact that they can just traverse terrain so quickly with the Realm Warp. The fact of the cannon, who was getting so big. 80 carry as well. Like, Gala scaling up, getting huge on his own. And it's like, man, just look at that. That's ridiculous.
Oh, man. You know, it spells out a giant M. Yeah. Well, folks.
Like, look at the damage differences on this side. Again, top esports are the comp that outranges. They were always going to have higher damage numbers than what RNG had, unless this was just like insane Wombo teamfight after insane teamfight. But my God, it feels like top esports dropping the ball today massively.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
game 2, ball was in their court, should have been a win. This game, I'm not going to say it was theirs because again, RNG had the tools, but
Not theirs.
top esports kind of like springboarded the ball into RNG's. No, they springboarded the ball onto their own side of the court into RNG's hands, and RNG, they took it.
You ever seen someone like a failed dunk, on the trampoline, and they go up with the ball and they go over or they miss it? They completely go off right field. It felt kind of like that, like the fail compilation. And it's sad, right? Again, to give Top Esports their credit, it was competitive. They felt like they were in a decent position that game. But as we go to the break, guys, it's match point for RNG. Somehow, some way, that's how Game 3 ends.
Yep.
And RNG with grins on their face need only one more to once again move into familiar position of a grand final.